Hey guys, what's up? This video is a tutorial of a door that we made a long time ago, but it's still a cool door. So yeah, it's a 7x7, only for only 1320 blocks in volume, and actually quite fast for what it is. And like for the standard layout at the time, it was actually, from what we knew, the fastest, but it since has been overtaken. That still doesn't take away from it being a great door. And yeah, I'm gonna make a tutorial on it, which is, I'm gonna definitely mess stuff up because the top is complicated as hell. Yeah.
Also, to my knowledge, it's... Oh my god, wait, the barriers are still here. Wait, still. Also, to my knowledge, it's the only door that has like both of these moves sync. So it's like this move that retracts these blocks down and up. This is sync.
Yeah.
And then the last move is also sync. So to my knowledge, that's the only door that does this. So that's still pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a pretty nice door. Doesn't use any entities. It's also non-locational. Yeah. The only thing that it might be is there might be a few things that could be done easier, but well, this door was made a year ago, so yeah. Alright.
The standards weren't really high back then.
You need a stack and 45 sticky pistons, 29 normal pistons. Well, also one lever, that's what we forgot in our last tutorial. Also 2 stacks and 36 observers, 1 stack and 34 redstone dust, 36 repeaters, 10 hoppers, 10 lime wool. For some reason, I do not know. Oh yeah, those can be any trash item. They are for an hopper timer. That was a cylinder by me. Now also 7 targets, 9 redstone blocks, 10 node blocks, 2 comparators, 1 dropper, 3 torches, and yeah, 1 detector rail, 2 trap chests. I guess those are just redirectors. Like can also be lecterns, for example. 1 barrel, that's a container. That also could be a furnace, but it has to be a full block. And yeah, 1 also yellow wool for that barrel as a dummy item.
Yeah. And for the building blocks, you will need 2 stacks and 11 hallway blocks. Then 54 door blocks, which are going to be visible inside of the door, so like here. These blocks go here. Then you'll need 5 obsidian for bottom stuff. 53 solid and 13 non-solid blocks for the setup, the piston inputs. Then 5 solid blocks and 1 non-solid block for top closing, I believe. 2 solid and 1 non-solid blocks for the top double. Then 17 solid and 4 non-solid blocks, and even a glass pane for the top quint. And just 3 solid blocks for the top refiring. And then you will also need 9 solid and 5 non-solid blocks for like sides and the power line and stuff like that. Like top to bottom connection, all of that. So yeah. And then you'll need 8 blocks for bottom closing, 8 solid blocks, 7 solid blocks and 1 non-solid block for the tape and basically stuff that has to do with the tape, like tape control and the thing that powers the tape. And then 6 solid blocks for the bottom post tape. So yeah. Did we talk about the dimensions?
No. It is 20 blocks high, 6 blocks wide, and no, not 6 blocks wide, 6 blocks deep, and 11 blocks wide. So like 1 extra on each side of the hallway, 6 above, 5 below, 3 to one side and 2 to the other side. So I guess if you want to make this as a door, like base entrance, make this side be the front side, so that like the indent is not as big.
Yeah, it's not perfectly centered, so.
Yeah, but that's also like you would have to do 5 wide, and that with this speed is kind of not really doable.
Yeah.
Alright, so I'm gonna start with top layout. Just go up 6 blocks, like to the maximum height, and build 5 quints next to each other. Which, yeah, this already looks fun. Also for storage, we have a total of 3 storage in the top, so just on the shorter side of the door. That's where the storage is gonna be, and I'm actually gonna place this with the door hallway blocks. And also, because it's a quint, a dust line on this level here would not be sufficient for powering, so we also have servers that get pushed in. Yeah, oh, and I already see something I forgot. You need then for the inputs a row of node blocks right here, and just a row of solid blocks right here. Then put dust on top of all of those. Actually, you need one more on this side with updated pistons. Then for the storage, you need just put a line of blocks on top of them, and on top of that, redstone dust. And on the row above, like for the other storage, you only need to have 4 dust and none of the side opposite to the updated pistons. Now for the more topmost inputs, like to input those 2 pistons, we're gonna have a row of repeaters here with dust. Like this. Also something that's really weird but also important is we are gonna need an updated piston right here, because there are some cases where we're gonna power this row of pistons and it will fail if it doesn't receive an update due to like some movable stuff happening, but then being resolved while it still can cancel power. So just make sure to have an updater here so that like this does not fail. Yeah. Then also onto the sides, they just 7 singles on each side. Nothing special. Yeah. I'm gonna let you do the bottom now.
Yeah, okay, for the bottom layout, let's just remove the glass first. You have 4 quad extenders in like the section where the door is gonna go. Sorry, 5 quad extenders. And then you have your storage on the wider side. So first place 5 pistons facing up, then 5 pistons like that, and 5 pistons diagonally above those. Then let's replace those with the not hallway blocks, the door frame, door blocks, whatever. And you also need door blocks right here because this is a 2 redstone block tape and it will cycle these blocks. So that's why you need 2 rows. Yeah, I believe that's it for the bottom layout, so yeah.
Alright. Okay, now begins the pain and suffering that's gonna be the top. For now, just extend this out 3, just for reference on both sides. And also those 2 will be need to fill because one of them is gonna be a slider, and this is you power those blocks with the observer, these rows, so like they have to be solid. Also I'm gonna do this just because it helps me. Now the input is this block right here. It is 1 above this. At least I hope that is the case, because no, it's not. It's 1 more above as it seems. And we're gonna put a piston like, and there's gonna be some stuff below. That's gonna be Lux's task. The input to the opening, to the closing, is this piston on top of this stack, and this is gonna have server on top that's gonna power this node block when it goes down. And from there we're gonna immediately power the storage like this, and then 2 redstone ticks later we want to power this line, and we're just gonna hardwire this to this line here. This is like pretty common stuff. Now after that we're gonna go up 2 from here and 1 across. place 2 blocks like this and connect this up. So the first row of blocks gets moved down. And then get a normal piston right here. And move that's gonna... Oh god, those LAs are fucking annoying.
This LA is a paid actor. I'm not telling it to fly here, it's just...
All good. Yeah, basically this piston on top of those top servers. And we're gonna detect the head when it's extended and to get another 2 pulses into here. Now also we're gonna place an observer top that's also detecting this. This is gonna go into a sticky piston, and you might think that this can just be a normal piston because it only will fire once and will get slid back like this. But this is actually not the case, as if you 2 game tick pulls a sticky piston versus a normal piston, they do not have the same result. This sticky piston actually starts retracting 1 game tick earlier than this piston, meaning that the block will arrive here 1 game tick earlier. And that is pretty crucial because the timings with which we need to power this line are very precise, so that we do not power those blocks, but actually those blocks as they get updated by the storage. It is a very precise timing, and yes, you do need this here. Then also from here, where the redstone block is gonna be, I'm gonna make an observer facing down and put a 2-tick repeater of that, and then or observer like this. And this is it for the closing, but I'm not gonna show the closing just yet because there's the slider right here, and if I do even dare to do anything with the slider, this will be really painful to do later. So yeah, I'm just gonna continue doing the top. For the opening, you need a piston right here and observer on the face side, and that is gonna power this piston when it retracts, so when this is getting pushed back. And this just go up diagonally like this with an observer, and down and around like this, and then put an hopper right here, and that detect this into here. And yes, this powers both of them at the same time, but because both of them are empty, it doesn't do anything. They just start retracting at the same time and are finished retracting at the same time, and then 2 redstone ticks for game tick later, so the storage row is getting powered again. Yeah, well, this seems a bit empty right now, but believe me, there's gonna be stuff there later. For now, let's do the first move actually of opening, which is gonna be done with this monostable, which is gonna power a dropper and not a node block here, because the node block would detect the update below it. And we're gonna go out, actually up and over like this, then get a purple block, and because you know I'm doing purple, which is kind of doing both a bit of opening and closing, but only like the beginning of opening and end of closing. And this is gonna return the slider, but also gonna go down 2, 1 over and 1 down, and this is gonna send the slider over. And the slider is for communication, and that actually is the thing that starts the quint. And you return it over here with a barrel, and you just put 1 atom in it, doesn't really matter which, and you read this out with a comparator, and this powers a iron trapdoor. And the iron trapdoor is needed because that doesn't QC. Like, yeah, in theory we could use a piston here, but then we have issues with QCing this and then repowering the entire quad forming loops. So yeah. Now if you remove 1 block here and place it here, you will see that it goes over, but it's also 2 pulses, so we need to deal with that. And we do this by going up like this and having a kind of toggle right here, powering this block, and then having a redstone line like this right here. Now this does the very first extension. Now we need to power this line. So we're gonna go over, like up and over with the observers, powering this line, and you can just make it like this for now. So like those blocks will stay, the one right here won't, but it's not that bad. Then from here we're gonna have a 4 tick going out and that will power this piston, and then we have a normal piston right here. Then from here you can go up to and 1 over, and then we can go over here to the block in front of the where the Vortic is ported on, and break both of those and put 2 observers like this. Then 1 over, down and over. Replace what we just broke. Like this. And then put our red centers right here. And a block right here with a repeater right here. Now from here we're gonna power the storage, and I've not done the storage inputs earlier because they're kind of weird. Because we're only directly powering those 4 like this. This one is gonna be QC'd from here, and it's gonna receive the first power from here. Pretty simple. And we can also put a dust right here, like this. And we can put a Vortic right here. Now this is because like we need a toggle to toggle between on like the first move when it pushes down. We're gonna be in this position and we need to push down. So what we do is we 1 tick and 4 tick it like this. But when we are on the second extension, we don't need to do 2 pulses because that would just spit us and retract it and spit it back out again. So what we do is we only do the 4 tick. Yeah, that's how that works. Now we will reject these servers again with a 4 tick and a 3 tick here. That is that. Now from here we're gonna go out 1 observer right here and 2 up and 1 over. Put a 2 tick right here. And here is where a kind of genius circuit comes in that will do basically all of the triple retraction from a certain point. In fact, it will do all of the triple like we are in this state. And it will do all of the retraction from the here to here, meaning that we only need double pulses after this. So we do have this and 2 vortex right here. Like 3 vortex in a row, it's kind of goofy, but oh well. And we're gonna detect this vortex. By the way, this is already in the circuit, it's like it's double pulse, and that's what the finger does. We're gonna go up here and put a sticky piston with a right here, just so that we can make this pulse actually work. Like a single pulse. I mean, to have more, not a single, to have more delay, I guess. It's a bit difficult to explain. Yeah, then we go around observers like this, power a hopper, and then go over like this. Now, something you also do need is we need to put a piston right here. And I guess for now I'm gonna destroy these again because I forgot this. I'm gonna place this piston here with an observer facing down, so it goes over and then back, creating a bit of delay. And to over like this. Now, from here, this is, wait, I need to, okay. This is where the fun stuff begins. We're gonna take an output from here, go over like this, and down twice to power this node block, and then go back up like this, power a 2 tick, and we're also gonna go here, and 1 tick observer out of this next to the 2 observers. 1 tick observer, what am I even saying? And put a glass right here with dust on top, and this has to be a glass because otherwise it would power this block here, and then put a block right here. Now we're gonna go from here around like this, and this is where the toggle for the refire is happening. And that is gonna stay on one of the items that I already lost, like this, with a 2 tick repeater on top. And it doesn't matter that this gets powered from here, because this is where we actually refire and there's nothing for it to detect. So what we can do is we go over like this into just a block. And before we go over here, we actually place an observer right here. From this over, this does retract the blocks upwards. Now to power the storage in the back there, we're just gonna go down like this. Put a hopper right here, one observer like this, across and over, facing into like powering this dust line. Then we're going down and over, and I want to verify really quick. Oh yeah, I actually missed an observer right here. That goes into here. That is, I hope, the only thing I missed. The only thing that seems to be a glaring error. I want to test it once though. Okay, something is fucked. That's great. It's fine, everything is fine. But yeah.
The door is building itself.
Real. Okay, what went wrong here? Oh yeah, I'm dumb. This has to be a transparent block right here, with a vortex on top, and then the observer's going up like this. So this has to be a transparent block instead of a solid block. I'm just dumb. Yeah. I might try one more time. Yeah, okay. I guess that works.
Nice.
Oh, I also forgot the sides, which on this side we have an observer with a piston right here. That is the toggle. That will actually go into this piston with a redstone lock right here. In one space, like this. Like 3 redstone locks of space between, one observer at the very bottom. Then normal piston right here, and just red wool in the height of where right now there's some block sides, so when they get pushed down they extend up, so that it makes them sync, like all of them extend at the same time. And if you're wondering how they actually move up, when this gets down, this observer will, after it's received, arrives at this block 2 game ticks later, it will power, and though this won't power this piston, it will update it. That will that means that those pistons here actually stay here for 2 game ticks or 1 redstone tick. Same on the other side, we have a piston right here, a redstone block observer right there, and a normal piston right here, and I'm gonna just put the same assortment on this side with a normal piston right here, and the 3 blocks with redstone dust on top like this. So yeah, those are the sides, and yeah, now block takes over for the bottom.
Alright, so yeah, for the bottom, let's just start with the setup. First of all, for the top storage, you will need to have a slider right here. And just place 5 observers like so, not like this, and 1, oops, looking down. Okay, difficult start. Then you want to have a return piston on the other side, and this piston actually faces to the side. If it faced up, it would push up this wall, and we don't want that. It wouldn't push up the wall because of the barrel, but yeah. Anyways, so these are the top pistons. Now for the other 2 pistons, they are actually a connected input. So let's do the up-facing pistons first. For that, place a row of 5 pistons that go into the door. Then observers looking at the piston heads, 5 observers, like this, and now just place 5 gray wool blocks with redstone dust. That's gonna power the pistons, but it also is gonna power these target blocks first, which I mean, this looks like a problem, but we'll fix that later, as always. So first of all, place a 2x2 of gray wool blocks, then just a repeater and 3 redstone dust. This goes into a line of 5 glass blocks to not power the pistons, because we only want to power them twice. What? No. We want to power them once, not twice. And then you have 2 more blocks, these can be solid, and then 1 observer into a block to power the slider, to connect all the storage up. So that should be it for the storage, and now let's go to the quad inputs. First of all, you want to have 2 normal pistons, like this. Then on the left normal piston, starting on the left, you place 1 glass block, can be solid, doesn't really matter. And you want to place 6 in total, I believe. So leave a gap there. Then you want to have 5 observers, just looking at the glass. This is going to be used for powering the bottom pistons, and it's going to be used twice in the entire door, which is why we can have this little slider. For this, once from this side and once from the other side, and it's fine. So yeah. Then for the next input, you want to place an observer here, one facing down. This goes into a block and into glass with dust. Then you have 1, 2, 3 observers. This needs to be glass, otherwise it's gonna mess up stuff. And then you just want to have 6 solid blocks. Place dust on the outer blocks and repeaters on the inner blocks. And then for the last input, you want to have 1 observer kind of in the center, right here, facing down. And then you have 2 solid blocks to either side, and you want to place dust on it. But then these inner blocks, they're going to be obsidian with repeaters on top. And yeah, the obsidian is for the back pistons. So how this works now is, or how the storage works, I'm not gonna show the entire sequence, is you power the slider first, then the top input, and then you just power this input here twice. So 1 and 2. Which is really convenient, and that's why we decided to do that. So yeah, thanks. Okay, and yeah, there's one more thing that is kinda, I guess you could call it the layout, which is the tape. So for that, place yeah, 1 piston next to the updater, and 1 piston on like the door slice with a redstone block. Then on the other side, you wanna place a piston here, and 1 here with a redstone block as well, because it's a 2 redstone block tape. Then on this side, that's where your tape is gonna start. So you wanna have your tape detector here, and with a torch down here. So how this works is, if you have a redstone block here, it's gonna relocate the dust and just stay there, chill there, and you need to power it through this block or something, like whatever. But if there's a normal block, the piston's gonna push it. So yeah, that's pretty cool. On the other side, we just have 2 observers like this. One is looking at these blocks, so when they get pushed, it sends a pulse into this block. and into the dust powering the piston. And now for the other side. So here we need to pulse this piston and then this piston when the block arrives here. How we check for that is we just have an observer looking at the column, like on the other side. Then it goes into redstone dust on glass. Make sure to relocate it. I guess you could use a trap chest, but I don't like trap chests because you can open them and then they send power through and break everything. So I like using like detector rails, or you could use a tripwire hook. But yeah, I decided to use a detector rail. Then go up here with glass. So this doesn't, I don't know if this needs to be glass, but it's gonna be observers later, so that's why I'm placing non-solid blocks here. But just be aware that this is gonna be replaced. And then this goes into the target. And we also have 2 observers here. So it's first gonna power the target and then this piston. Now let's check if the tape works. And that's looking nice. Yeah, you might have seen this nonsense there with the blocks, but there's not gonna be blocks when the door is running, so it's whatever. It doesn't really do anything bad. Yeah. There was one more thing, but I don't remember, so it's probably fine. Anyways, now let's go to the connection from top to bottom. So start off with a hopper timer, which is going into a comparator on top of an observer. So this is basically also make sure to put 10 items in the right hopper. This is basically doing it so when you flick the lever, the item is instantly gonna travel, right? And then the comparator just goes on and closing starts. But on the opening, it's gonna take a while until all the items traveled into the other hopper. And then the comparator turns off, and then bottom can start. So that's just for this. Anyways, now we can place red wool into node block. And then this goes down into observers, like this. And you wanna power pink wool. So that's just gonna do the first pulse of the storage, like this. I guess let's pulse it again. Yeah. Then for the next pulse, we're gonna need to pulse this up. And then after that, we need to pulse the storage. This block is not needed. The storage. And this has to repeat. So this has to happen 2 times. And that's why we've just used a 4-tick repeater on top of an observer right here. Because this sends through 2 pulses with a bit of delay in between, so that's actually perfect. And then from here we go down into red wool with dust on top, and then into a hopper. That's just to make it quicker, because 4-tick repeaters is slow. Yeah, then into an observer, and into a piston. You might think this is bad because QC, but I mean it doesn't get updated by anything, so it doesn't really matter. Then the first glass block gets replaced now with an observer. Doesn't matter if this piston fires, it doesn't do anything. So yeah, then place another observer, looking in the same direction, into pink wool, with redstone dust on top, and then a hopper right here. And then there's an observer looking at the hopper, actually powering the input. That's gonna send 2 pulses in this input. Now we need the 2 pulses into the storage. For that, we just have an observer looking here, then one looking up. This goes into wool and into a repeater, like this. That should send through the 2 storage pulses. And now we're gonna be in this state, and now we need to fire the blocks up. And during the opening, we actually need to retract a block from up here. So a double extender is perfect. And you might know this double extender, where you have that. And that's essentially what we're doing here. We're just four-ticking this line, and since there's an observer here, it's gonna do this double extender circuit. The problem is we have two pulses here, and we only need one of them, the later one. So for that reason, we have a piston here, and then an observer looking outwards. So the first pulse is gonna go into nowhere, so this actually needs to be transparent. And the second pulse is gonna go into here. This actually needs to be an observer facing down for later, but let's place it now because it's easier now. And then we have a four-tick just powering this input. And that's gonna, ensure the double extender. And then we need to retract it. So during the opening, the blocks are gonna be here now. And now we need to retract them back into the storage. So just power the storage. And we do that by looking at the four-tick repeater. But again, these are two pulses, because this is a long pulse on the repeater. So we need another piston circuit, piston toggle, whatever. This time the block is here, because we again need the later pulse of those. So yeah, and this is just gonna power this line of dust. And now we need to power this piston right here to actually like fire a piston up to here for the tape. But this only needs to happen during the opening, so we place two repeaters here. And we're also gonna need to relocate that dust, so we need a repeater here as well. Just replace it. So yeah, let's reset. Like this, because this dust shouldn't always power these two repeaters, that's gonna be a clock, I think. And then we just have a piston and an observer in the extended state, so that it doesn't power this piston on closing, but it powers it on opening. Then we have an observer looking at the piston. And now we have three more observers. So we power the storage basically. Make sure that you relocate the dust. And now we have another three observers here. To actually... The storage is gonna put the blocks into here, and the pistons are gonna be here. Or here, I actually don't remember. Yeah, and then we need to power this line again just to bring the blocks up. So that's what we're gonna do. Yeah, and this should be fine. So that should actually be everything until the tape. And now we need to power the tape. So we take output out of this piston, and this goes into a block right here with dust on top, and then into a piston facing down with an observer in the extended state looking up, and then into a block. That's just gonna power the tape. So I guess we can flick the lever. That's how this looks currently. And then if we unflick it, yeah, we have that, and the tape starts. So this is what you want to see. If this doesn't happen, you probably made a mistake. Yeah. So we're in this state now. And now we need to get these blocks down once the tape stops. And for that we use an interesting thing, which is this torch. And how that works is while the tape is running, we're gonna just constant power this input. And once the tape stops, the torch goes off again. So we unpower it and the blocks go down, as it can be seen here. Yeah. So that's pretty easy. Then now we need the storage to retract those blocks. For that we have a hopper right here. Actually no, it's here. And then we have an observer looking up, across, and up again. So that powers this dust line. So that's just gonna get the blocks into the storage. Now we need a double extender to retract these pistons. And how the double extender is gonna work this time is so we have those pistons here and the storage. And let's just say this is our double extender. Oops. This is our double extender. So how this works is we power this, and then this just one ticks. And then we unpower this, and while this is retracting, we put in this block, so this needs to be timed perfectly. And then the second pulse of the double is actually gonna power this block while this is still retracting, so this doesn't happen. Instead, we power the top piston to retract this block. And that's always gonna happen, that's not occasional or anything, so that's really cool. And in order to do that, we first need a double extender. So for that, we have a block with dust under the storage. This powers a piston facing downwards with an observer in that direction. Into, wait, actually that's not a block. So we have an observer facing up. This observer powers this vortex repeater. And then that goes into this green block, solid block, with dust on top, so that's the double extender. And then for the storage pulses, we need a piston like, or a piston with an observer like this. A sticky piston, obviously. And then we have a note block down here to update the sticky piston. So then how that works is while the tape is running, this is just going up and just staying there. And when the tape stops, it goes down and powers this vortex repeater right here. And now we have two more observers into a green block. And this is the perfect timing for the storage to get the blocks in and retract the blocks. I can show you that. So if you just start the tape again. It's retracted. Then we have the double and the blocks are in there to get the top blocks down. Yeah. Oops. I can leave it for a second. So what we now need to do is to power this piston basically. And we also need a timed pulse in this input to get these pistons down. Which is just gonna finish the entire door basically. So if you power this piston with me, power this now. That's just gonna bring it in this state. Yeah. So let's wire that in. This is why this observer here under the vortex repeater is needed. So place two observers going out. One out to here. Two looking down into a block. Then a retake on top of an observer. And then we have two rests and dusts right here. And since that is powering nothing currently because observers are transparent, we need a trap chest to relocate the dust. So it's actually gonna power this piston. Okay, and now one more thing. We need a block here with redstone steel. So that is going to power this input at the right timing actually. But there's one bad thing, which is that it powers this retick repeater every time this line is powered. So we can just relocate it. And that's our second trap chest. And this should actually work now, so let's test it. And yep, so the entire door should work now, so you can just fill in your blocks and be happy, I guess.
Unless you made a mistake like I did at the top.
Yeah.
I assume that would be way harder to fix in survival. Yeah, if I remember, I will put a Lightmatic in the description so you can like at least double check.
Yeah.
Alright. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so we can close the door, I guess. Oh. The sides are still wide.
Don't be racist.
Wow.
I guess with... Oh fuck my life. With what? Sorry. That came off so... I'm gonna just cut that out.
Okay, and here's the opening. And yeah, as you can see, it's perfectly in sync.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. I guess this rounds up the video. I hope it was helpful. Yeah, I don't know. There are not really many tutorials for bigger doors that are also like up to date. So yeah, hope we could do some justice. And yeah, guess see you in the next video, which will be on Blux's channel again.
See ya.
See ya.